Welcome! Today I'm going to be doing my February wrap-up, and I'm not gonna lie, I had another small reading month. I don't know, will I ever get out of the 3-book reading slump? Hopefully, one can hope. The first book I read in the month of February was Yes Please by Amy Poehler. I say read because I listened to this as an audiobook. If you don't know, Yes Please is Amy Poehler of Parks and Rec, of Saturday Night Live. It's her autobiography. I listened to this whole thing in one day. It's not that long, it's about 7 hours long, and it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I really liked hearing some behind the scenes things from two shows that I have loved very much in my life, Saturday Night Live and Parks and Recreation. But I also really enjoyed hearing her talk about her children and just like life and stuff like that. I'm not sure if I would have enjoyed this book if I just had no idea who Amy Poehler is, but I think I would have, because she talks about how hard it is to write a book a lot, and I kind of get the feeling that she's like, this isn't my thing, but I think she really did a good job. I ended up giving this book a 4 out of 5 stars, and I would have given it the full 5, but the last chapter of the book was really weird to me, so I knocked it down from like a solid 5 stars to like a solid 4 stars. But overall, I recommend this book. I love it very much. The second book I read this month, I have been reading it over the course of 2 months, or should I say, I may or may not have been reading this over the course of 2 months because I read it when I was at work. This book is The Descendants by Cowie Hart Hemmings. The Descendants is basically about this family who lives in Hawaii. The mom gets in an accident, she goes into a coma, and it's basically her husband and her children, her young daughter's reactions to this event. I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it, but I really don't know if I would have kept reading it if I wasn't reading it at work. I just didn't really feel attachment to the characters. I just felt like there could have been more done with them, and the way that the dad who narrates the story, the way he kind of thinks about and interacts with his young daughters, parts of it made me uncomfortable. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, but it was weird to me and I didn't like it, and I just wasn't a fan. That's kind of why I knocked it down to 3 stars, but it's a really good story, and if you want to read a book about kind of what it's like to live in Hawaii, I guess this is a good one because it does a pretty good job. And the final book I read this month was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. If you don't know, Throne of Glass is about this girl named Selena, and she is a slave in a salt mine, and she gets an opportunity to compete in like a tournament to become the king's assassin, and then after a few years she can get her freedom. Really cool premise, really amazing main character. However, it was really hard for me to get into this book. It took me a very long time to read this book. It was just like when I was reading it, I was having a really fun time, but when I wasn't reading it, I didn't really care about picking it up. I don't even know if it's the book's fault. It could just be me. I don't know. I went into this book with pretty high expectations. I tried to lower them as much as I could, but they still stayed pretty up there. I had been told that it was a little bit hard to get into, so I kind of expected that. I enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Honestly, it was more like a 3.7. I really like Selena. I think that she is a wonderful character, and she is very like strong, hardcore for being like, you know, down in the salt mines for a year. Like, go her. I liked the premise of the competition and the fact that her freedom is not like super easy for her to get. Even though I liked a lot of these characters and I liked the premise and I liked the writing and all that stuff, I just wasn't like in love with this book. But I will probably pick up the second book just because I think it's interesting enough. I'm willing to give it another chance. But yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. I liked it. I enjoyed it. So those were the books that I read in the month of February. Let me know if these are any of the books that you read in February. Let me know your thoughts, etc. Blah, 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 blah. And that's about all I've got, so I'll see you soon. Talk to you later. Bye. By Cowie, oh crap. February. I don't even feel like I'm actually saying that right. Does anyone February. I don't think that's how you, I don't know.